And an adventurous man from Wisconsin has come up with an inventive way to get together with his friends from Thunder Bay during the pandemic. The Canada-U.S. border closure was recently extended until October 21st. So Cody Esser has been organizing face-to-face visits with his Canadian buddies along the banks of the Pigeon River. Jonathan Wilson has the story.
The border's closed, but we can hang out right here.
Cody Esser drove 8 hours from his home near Madison, Wisconsin this past weekend to see his Thunder Bay friends and chat across the Pigeon River. Esser met them all on one of his random trips to this area, which he writes about on his popular travel blog called The Impulsive Traveler Guy.
I'm very impulsive. Actually, the first trip I blogged about was how I hopped the Canadian border without a passport.
Esser says this time he checked with border officials on both the Canadian and U.S. sides to make sure this is legal. And he says they actually gave him advice on the best spots to do it.
Cody certainly has lots of crazy ideas, but I think this one's great. I mean, it's definitely one of the more out there ones he's done, but it's certainly worked out and it's brought some people together that we never probably would have met without Cody, to be honest. So it's great.
Cody, cheers! Cheers! Cheers!
I think this is very, very fun. A very nice thing, very positive thing to do on an afternoon. And it's surprising how close Cody is and how I don't even have to scream and yell at him. He's basically right over there.
What do you miss about Thunder Bay?
Probably everything between the Persians, between, what else? Poutine.
Yeah.
All that stuff, just hanging out and having a good time. It's beautiful scenery, the Canadian experience, everything.
The cross-border buddies chatted about things like the differences in COVID rules in Canada and the U.S. and reminisced about their good times together, including meeting up at the Blues Festival a few years ago.
At Blues Fest, that place is too big. We're not going to run into each other. I'm like, we'll run into each other. What do we do?
I remember that very clear.
And you guys did.
On this day, dozens of Americans could be seen hiking along the riverbanks at Grand Portage State Park, just down from High Falls. For the Thunder Bay friends, it's around a 1-kilometer hike from the Ontario Visitor Centre to the scenic spot within the boundaries of Pigeon River Provincial Park. Trush and Peever both say it's a lot more fun chatting with their friend in person rather than on Zoom or Skype.
It's more surreal, and the fact that he's in the U.S. and I'm in Canada when we're so near each other. So I'd say this is cooler.
It's nice to be able to go and talk to people that you normally can't see because they're right there behind you. And, you miss that interaction all summer, no trips down south or anything. So I think it's awesome to come here and be able to talk to them.
Here's to hopefully 2021 being great. Yeah.
Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
Pretty creative, I will say.
Imagine driving 8 hours to see your buddy and you can't think of anything to talk about.
You must really like them if you drove 8 hours, which is
Yeah,
nice to see.
and they had plenty to talk about, so it was a win-win.